first, you cut the onion.
Yep. Is that a little bit easier? Use your other hand to hold it steady. There you go. So we are making Gyronian meatloaf a la Paris.
We're making Gyronian meatloaf at Paris. But first, you have to get the onion out and cut it into pieces.
Yeah. They can see that. They can see that you're cutting the onion. Okay, today we are making Gyronian meatloaf a la Paris. It's spelled Gyronian, so at first I thought it was like Euro meat with a Greek seasoning, which I often make in the crock pot. That's one of my staples because it's easy. You don't really have to touch the meat until it's thoroughly cooked, and the Greek seasoning automatically makes it good because the kind we buy has a lot of MSG in it, which is not good for you, but tastes delicious. So yeah, but that, I know that that's not how it's pronounced because it says on Voyager, this dish is made with hormuz, a parasite that lives on the back of Gyronian wommules. They are virtually undetachable unless you can get the wommules to sneeze. Hormuz will always flee a sneezing Gyronian wommule. Obviously, the trick is to get the wommule to sneeze. Crushed snazzle seeds blown through a deco reed in the vicinity of their noses will accomplish this. But wear earplugs because the sneeze from a wommule is very loud and very unpleasant to boot. So, this, obviously, we don't have any of the Gyronian or the hormuz parasites, so we will be using ground beef, which is a normal thing. It always smells funny. We threw away the last thing. My son chopped up the onions yesterday and we were going to make it, but we threw away the beef that we had because it looked funny and smelled a little funny. I had it in the freezer, so maybe that's why, because I was worried it would be past its sell-by date. And it's 2 days before its sell-by date. Again, we get this stuff from the Meyer shipment service, so somebody comes and delivers it. So somebody else is picking out the meat. And like the edges are a little bit brown already. It's not been cooked at all, so I don't know. And the inside is brown instead of pink. This one doesn't smell bad though. As you can see, I'm wearing gloves because I still hate touching raw meat. For some reason, ground beef isn't as bad. I can't like imagine it as muscle so much. Okay, so 1 pound of meatloaf will serve 4 to 6, which is good because that's all we got. The recipe actually calls for 1.5 pounds, but when I get it from the shipment service, they just give me whatever package they grab instead of looking at the weight. Okay, so we're combining the meat, the onions, which were chopped by my son yesterday with a little plastic knife. He likes helping. That's one of the reasons that I'm doing this, is because setting a good example for him and cooking is also teaching him, you know, that cooking is a good thing, and he's going to learn how to cook, which I did not do. Not because my mom didn't, like, she taught me how to boil pasta and stuff, but she just also, like me, was not into cooking. Like, who loves working really hard on a recipe to have your family eat it in 10 minutes and then it's done? Why would I spend hours cooking? But, like I said, if I can pretend I'm Neelix on Star Trek and read about making it out of parasites, the ground beef does kind of look like worms. Again, this is why I hate it so much. Alright, so we're combining the ground beef. It was like 1/2 cup of onions. We probably put in a little more, but that's fine. We like onions over here. Everybody at our house has onion breath all the time. And I'm going to have to, should have gotten all of my ingredients out first so that I could not have to change gloves and waste. But I didn't. So there's another lesson. Get all your ingredients out first. I always tell myself that, and then I don't. One of the things is celery seed, so I can put that in and then put it away. A teaspoon. Oh, this is a new one. I have to get the label off. So we've got celery seed. Oh yeah, I probably ordered this also. That's why. Let's see if we can just eyeball a teaspoon. That seems like a teaspoon. I know. I'm setting a bad example in not actually measuring. That's what I see the real cooks do on the cooking shows. They just guesstimate, so it's fine. So I'm going to go get the rest of my ingredients. Okay, now we have all the ingredients. So you're supposed to mix the pound to pound and a half of ground beef, and then it has a 1/4 cup. Uh-oh, it's a 1/2 cup. I didn't read that right. It's a 1/4 cup of something else. That's okay. I have a 1/4 cup. You can multiply it by 2, and then you have a 1/2 cup. This is why math is important, kids, so that you can double your recipes or not have the correct measuring cups out and still function. So I have a 1/4 cup, but I need 2 of them because I need a 1/2 cup of tomato juice or vegetable juice or Bloody Mary mix. So obviously I'm going to use Bloody Mary mix. That's so much better. It's not, obviously the mix isn't alcoholic, guys. And even if it were, a little bit cooked throughout a meatloaf wouldn't be a problem. But okay, so that's 1, and that's 2. The onions, the garlic cloves. So it has 2 cloves of garlic chopped. Hopefully it's okay if it is minced, because that is the kind we get. We use so much garlic at our house that we buy the big jars for economy's sake. Although we also have fresh cloves of garlic too, sometimes when my wife is cooking, but I think they went bad. So we're going to use this. Hopefully it's the same. I know I'm talking about having all these onions and garlic things, and yeah, not super attractive over here at our house, but whatever. When you're already married, you don't have to worry about that stuff. How much is 2 cloves, I wonder? Shall we guess? Eyeball it. This is probably going to be way too much. Like this much? Looks like if I were to pulverize about 2 cloves. Somebody's probably watching this and being like, oh god, she's so wrong about how many cloves we need for that, but whatever. If it's too much, that's fine because we love garlic. If it's not enough, it's not going to like kill the recipe. And then I already put the celery seed in, and we also need a teaspoon of dried parsley. So I'm going to shake that for a while. I don't think I want a whole teaspoon in there. It looks like it's just for color, not a whole lot of flavor. And then hot sauce and salt and pepper to taste. So I got out this hot sauce. Hopefully it's not too spicy, because again, my son will not eat anything if it's too spicy. I'm just going to put a little bit in there. Okay. It says Tabasco or Louisiana hot. Good, this is Tabasco brand. And then salt and pepper to taste. And then we are thoroughly kneading it until the meat is soft and squishy. I mean, it's already soft and squishy. It's ground beef. What do they expect? You can also use ground turkey or lamb or a beef and lamb combination. Lamb is really expensive, so we don't get that anymore, but it kind of is better. But also, it really is made from sheep before they have the chance to grow up, so it seems kind of mean. The sound is really gross, isn't it, of kneading some meat. So, and then we're going to be placing the meat in the loaf pan, so that's pretty easy. I mean, as long as you have all the ingredients out, it's not a very involved recipe. So I definitely like that. So part of the problem is, I let my son chop the onions, and he chopped them really coarsely because he's 5. Of course he did. So they're not mixing up very well. So we're going to have some bites that are super, super oniony and some that are not. This also says that you can eat it with pita bread, and that's the recommendation. I don't think we have any pita bread, so that's a bummer. But, oh well. You do what you can. Neelix mixes this with Fargonian finger apples and Yucaterian cave carrots and sand nuts. We don't have any of those things either because we're not in the Delta Quadrant. Surprise! This is all being filmed on Earth. Okay, so this looks fairly... It's really like squishy and loose because of the Bloody Mary mix we put in there. But hopefully It'll firm up after an hour in the oven. So I've been preheating my oven while we wait. It's probably not ready quite yet, but that's okay because it's just, well, now I can't see what time it is because the oven is preheating, but we got plenty of time before dinner because then you have to bake it for an hour, I think. Yeah, bake for 1 hour and test for doneness. How do I test for doneness? I don't know. Find out if your family gets food poisoning. Good times. Okay, so I will put this in the pan. You're supposed to lightly grease the pan, which usually means do the aerosol sprays. We don't have any of that because I don't like the chemicals that they have to use to make it into an aerosol. So we've put foil in there, and then I'm just going to put some olive oil on a paper towel and rub it down, and that's usually sufficient. So there's your tip if you don't have cooking spray, which a lot of non-cooks like myself probably don't, and maybe some other people do who hate the idea of it. Alright, so I'll let you know how it looks when it comes out in about an hour. That was pretty easy. Here is the finished meatloaf. It is sitting in a pool of grease, which is gross, but we can drain that. I don't know how to make sure it's done. I put it in for a couple extra minutes beyond the hour. So hopefully that is enough and we don't get food poisoning. I forgot to tell you too that the recipe requires you to put pasta sauce or marinara sauce or something on the top before you put it in the oven. So I did that. So hopefully that adds to it. We just had some spaghetti sauce that we really like. So I put a half cup of that on top before putting it in the oven and then baked for about an hour and 5 minutes is what I ended up doing. So I'll let you know the verdict.